Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to us here on Speaking of the Devils. I'm your host, Ryan Novozinsky, joining you live from the press box here at PPG Arena, the site of the Devils' 4-1 another embarrassing defeat for them at the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins. How many losses is this in a row for them, Danny? Because I've traveled here with my man Daniel Lamoya. I know they lost to the Hurricanes, or no, this is the third loss in a row for the New Jersey Devils. Just working that out in my head, doing some quick maths. During that span, they have scored a grand total of 2 goals. Okay. And opposing teams have outscored them. They've been outscored 16-2 over the past 3 games. That is ridiculous in a 3-game losing streak for them. They fall to 22, 20, and 2 on the season. They are 14, 19, and 2 since that 8-game winning streak. But I can't talk about any of this till I know that we are live. So somebody let me know in the comments section below, and then we will go live. Okay, yeah, I think we are live. Once again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to us here. Before we get into the show, we want to thank our friends over at New Spine for sponsoring us here on Speaking of the Devils with 7 locations. They are New Jersey's leading institute for minimally invasive spine surgery. Live your best life pain-free. Visit newspine.com. That's NU dash, do not forget that dash, NU-spine.com to find a location near you. Do not forget that dash. If you forget that dash, I'll find out and I will hunt you down. NU-spine.com. We're going to start this this here show with Nico's quote, with Nico Hischier's quote from last game after the 9-0 steamrolling at the hands of the New York Islanders that embarrassed the Devils on a national stage, on an international stage, because I guess you can count Canada there as well. Nico said after the game, giving up 9, that's flat out embarrassing. We've got to rinse this as quick as possible, and I'm in charge of that. I'm expecting myself to have a big response game, and I'm expecting the team to do the same thing. So he says right there he's going to have a big response game, and the team is going to do the same thing. Well, the result could not be anything further from that. You got your response, and the response is that this team looks like they have quit. This team looks like they have quit on their head coach. This team looks like they have quit on the general manager that put them in this precarious situation. In the first place, a situation, by the way, that he can't get himself out of. He can't get the Devils out of this. The fact that this was the big response, this being the big response not only led to some tough questions in the postgame, which we'll get to in a little bit, but it might and probably should lead to some tough but highly anticipated solutions for the New Jersey Devils team in the next several hours. I don't know what the status of Sheldon Keefe is. We just talked to him, so he's still employed as of right now, as of 10/22 on January 8th. But it's fair to wonder if any of these guys are going to be safe within the next couple of days. I think as of right now, Tom Fitzgerald is safe. That's what I can say right now, at least for the next several days. But again, anything can change after you get outscored 16-2 in a 3-game stretch, and you lose all 3 games, obviously. Last game was really the loss that should have led to change. This game is really, really the loss that should lead to some change. And oh, by the way, if you travel to Winnipeg on Sunday and you lose to the last place in the NHL, Winnipeg Jets, that should really, really, really be the loss that leads to some change, if there isn't any that happens before then. Here's why I think it would probably be Keefe, the major shakeup. That's because before the game, Darren Drager of TSN had a report on Fitzgerald. He said, in quote, "The job security is not a primary concern for Fitzgerald. It just isn't. I mean, he talks to ownership on a weekly basis. They know the path the GM is trying to take with this team. Well, the path that this GM is trying to take with this team is a nosedive down the standings, a downward spiral, a train wreck. That's the path that Tom Fitzgerald's going down, and it's not getting any better. And if he's the one that put the Devils in this position in the first place, he should not be the one to get them out because, it's just not something that he should do. I'm not going to go goal by goal here, but I do want to go over my first period notes because, as I was talking about right here with Daniel Lamoya of the Hockey Writers, during this game we said that first period was the perfect encapsulation of what is wrong with the New Jersey Devils, okay? Finishing issues, goaltending, a team that looks like they don't care. They care in spurts, an ugly first 5 minutes. Besides like the first minute where they looked like they shot out, bat out of hell, forechecking hard. Timo stole a puck in the O-zone, kicked that out to Grits for a nice opportunity. Clearly playing with some heart in that first minute, but then from there they were outshot in the first 5 minutes. I think it was like 5-2 or 5-3 or something like that. And of course, the Penguins score first. The Devils get scored on first. Devils have trailed first in 26 out of 44 games this season. That's unacceptable. That's a trend that this season reminded me so much of that 23-24 season, which I escaped. I escaped after that, and now I'm going back, and it's like the same thing. It's like Groundhog's Day. What's going on here? Carlson snuck it through the corner. Nice little shot from him. The scouting report on Allen this year, Jake Allen, who started the game tonight and finished the game, seems to be to shoot high on him. Feels like he could have stopped that one, but obviously did not. Just want to note, too, Jack Hughes looked like he was coasting on this goal as well. Again, great, heck of a shot from Carlson, and he wires it through. And you know, obviously his shot has always been so lethal, but Jack, for your best player to be coasting there, and he also just doesn't look 100% in general. And you know, for Allen to let that in, it's just not great. And for just this first goal trend to continue as well. Shortly thereafter, Brad had a clear breakaway attempt all alone, and he couldn't convert. Skinner got his blocker on it. Brad needs to score there. It is Stuart Skinner, and I know he's been fine with the Penguins. No one's denying that. But it's Stuart Skinner. What are you doing here? What are we doing here? Puck battles. Devils were losing every single puck battle. You know, they've lost so many in this game. The first period, though, I will highlight that. I mean, it was just, especially in the D zone, Pitt hemmed them a lot in the zone. It happened at the glass line. There was a sequence of like 3 puck battles in a row. I saw them lose the Heischer line as well. So those two, you know, those two lines just like be harder on pucks and be tenacious to play against. And the Devils are they're not a hard team to play against. Pittsburgh had there was another opportunity. Okay, talk about the finishing woes. That's another thing that has been plaguing the Devils, and it is continuing to plague the Devils into tonight. Pittsburgh had a really bad turnover. Can't remember who it was. In front of Skinner, it was right in front of him. Brown pounces on it. Connor Brown pounces on it, and of course, he can't score. And we finished up the period. I think it was like just like a few seconds to go. Nico Hischier, grade A opportunity, prime chance, all alone, low slot, right in front of Stuart Skinner, who the scout on him is just, you know, lift the puck even a little bit and you know, get it past him, aim for the shoulders, anything like that, and you could probably mess with him. He aims it right at the chest, right at the logo, right at the damn logo. Flung it right there. And so I think that first period was a perfect encapsulation of New Jersey Devils hockey of late. You know, maybe, yeah, they had some fight, I guess, you know, in some of the later periods, but just were never able to find it. And you know, that's why we're talking about yet another loss for the New Jersey Devils. Again, they are 22-20-2 on the year, 14-19-2 since that 8-game winning streak. Remember that? Again, feels like so long ago. I mentioned that at the top of every show because I think it's important. Before I dive into the comments, guys, I want to play a clip here from Sheldon Keefe. I asked him after the game. This was a game where you have to ask Sheldon the job security question. You just do. Things are spiraling out of control. National media is talking about it. You know, every insider's talking about, you know, former players talking about it. Bryce Salvador before the game had a great story. Rock Bottom, you can read that on brycesalvador.com, where even he doesn't, I'm not going to, you know, bury him and say he like alludes to it, but he semi alludes to the fact that something major needs to shake up. And you know, in a couple sentences before that, he mentions, you know, coaching change or GM change or anything like that. Or people losing their job, I think is the exact thing that he said. But anyways, asked Sheldon Keefe after the game about the job security, and here's what he had to say. Let's pull this up. Sorry for the janky little angle on this. I had to do it in YouTube short format, so I'm going to play this real quick.
Check in establishments from time to time.
Sheldon, are you concerned about your job security if these struggles continue?
That's out of my hands. It's not in my control. I like I said, I like a lot about our game here. I know what this team needs, and we got to get them going. But I'm also well aware of the reality of the business and how it works. But I'm going to focus on getting our team ready for the next game and keep building here. To me, this is we can use this as an organization as a great opportunity to take great steps in the big picture, because we've got a lot of things that we need to get better at, like, and when we lose focus on that and we get ahead of ourselves, these kind of things happen. We got work to do to become a real hockey team. I think there's a perception that we were a real hockey team before the work was put in, and you get exposed. And that's, to me, where we're at. We got to keep on building our game. And you see lots of elements out there. It's closer than you think. Some of those pucks fall in the first period. Some of these chances, we win this hockey game here today. But that's where we're at right now. And we're going to keep working it. And I'm going to keep working at it. And, part of coaching is you got to deal with crisis, challenges. These kind of things excite me. I believe I can be part of the solution here, and I'm going to keep doing my job to find the answers.
So you hear that? Oh God! You hear Sheldon Keefe there, obviously aware of the situation, aware of the realities. He's not dumb. I mean, he's no dummy. He's been doing this for a long time. Understands the circumstances, but again, it just felt like that was the necessary tough question to ask tonight. Is your job security? And look, I'm not sitting here saying that Sheldon Keefe should be fired. I actually think that would be too convenient of a scapegoat for Tom Fitzgerald, who is the real issue with this team. I think if you build a team that better sustains Sheldon Keefe's two-way style, if that better fits his system, I think that he can be a tremendous coach. But Fitzgerald's, it just doesn't seem like a match made in heaven, and maybe that's the reason that he ends up getting canned, if he even does. But I also think that that's just way too convenient for him to get to be shown the door before Tom Fitzgerald. Quite frankly, it would, and it probably should, cause like an uproar among Devils fans. For Fitzgerald to be able to just kind of sit there and not for him. If this were to happen, I don't want to punish them for doing something they haven't done yet. But if that were the hypothetical thing that happened, and people are starting to talk about his job security, obviously, if it was Fitzgerald, or if it was Keefe over Fitzgerald, that would just be a mess. But anyways, let's go into your wonderful, wonderful comments, and we'll start here with some super chats, guys. We already have 5 super chats, so I appreciate you guys supporting me on that level. I very much appreciate it. You guys have no idea that you're the reason that we're able to come here to wonderful Pittsburgh. Send us to Winnipeg. Pay for some super chats, okay? That should be the goal each little stream. Keep making my bosses happy, and my bosses will continue to make me happy by sending me to Winnipeg. Would that make me happy? I don't know. But I would like to be there just for the story of the New Jersey Devils right now. We start here with Zach Chin. Question of the day: is 2026-27 our year without significant wholesale changes, Zach Chin? I'm going to say no. Everything needs to be addressed. The GM, first and foremost, the head coach, evaluate whether he's the guy to lead this team going forward. The scouting department, the drafting's been a mess. That's on the GM too, but the scouting department for sure. The core. There's something rotten in that room, guys. I'm telling you right now. You don't see results like this in a team that's out there and things are hunky dory and everything's good. No. You need to start there needs to be wholesale changes, and I'm not willing to say that 2026-27 is the Devil's year if that doesn't come. But I understand the question. Zach Chin, real question of the day: is Keefe's tenure done? In his comments tonight, he sounded like a man who understood the reality of things, and he looked pretty. I'm gonna say, like, he felt contrite. It felt contrite. But defiant in a sense that, he knows that or he said that he knows that, he could be part of the solution here. But maybe that's not defiance. Maybe he's right. I don't think Sheldon Keefe is a bad coach. I think Sheldon Keefe is a way better coach than Tom Fitzgerald is a GM. So, if he were the first one fired, I think that would be a big mistake. But to answer your question, losses like this should lead to change. I'm not going to put a percentage on it. I'm not going to speculate. This is not based on any sort of inside knowledge. Pure gut feeling. I feel like if they lose to Winnipeg, significant change comes, and that's firing coach. looking at the GM. I don't even know. Again, by all accounts, he's safe. So we shall see. Good question, though, Zach. Always good questions, and I appreciate the support. Steve KS, supporting the channel. The only good thing with the Devils name attached to it. Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate that. If they get beat up by the Jets Sunday and nothing changes, what does that say about the owners? It means the owners don't care. If they get beat up by the 32nd place Winnipeg Jets, and nothing significant happens, the owners do not care about this hockey team. Heck, there's an argument to be had that if nothing happens after this game, after last game's train wreck against the New York Islanders 9-0, that there should have been significant change, and that should tell you that the owners don't care. But if you lose to Winnipeg, and God forbid you lose to them, and then you lose to Minnesota after that, a team that swooped in and was able to do the thing that you should have done, which is go trade for the superstar brother that you could have gotten, seemingly the best of the three, obviously. Then yeah, ownership does not care if they don't make any significant changes after that, and the Devils are they're a far cry from their dynastic roots anyway, but it would be like it's like two different universes of franchises if they make no changes after that. Steve, thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words and your super chat support. Thank you much, my friend. Ghost Dog, you defended Blitzer, but does his present inaction and now possible scapegoating of Keefe change your opinion of him as a good and engaged owner? Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Ghost Dog. That's kind of the point I'm getting at in the last question that Steve just asked. Unquestionably, look, the fact, again, I'm of the belief that change. I set my alarms the other day after I got home from Long Island at like 3 a.m. or something like that, something ridiculous like that, and I set my alarms for like 7 a.m, fully expecting to wake up to the notification of a GM getting fired, of a coach getting fired, something like that. Nothing happened. When we went to practice, there's a reason. Like people were like, some people were like, that's weird. You looked for Fitzgerald's card. No. I thought there was a serious question over whether he would even be still in the building if they just got it over with or whatever. Same thing with Keefe. Like when I tweet out Keefe is on the ice for practice, it's because there's a genuine question over whether he would be coaching that team at that practice. My opinion of David Blitzer has changed. This stretch has exposed a lot of the ugliness of the way the Devils are run. If Lou were here, I hate to do that because I sound like such an old man. If Lou were here, heads would have rolled a long time ago, right? Like before things got even to this point. But now this is rock bottom, and there's something even below rock bottom, and it's New Jersey Devils hockey. Let's move on. Mock Boolby. Fitz needs to be fired. How many coaches do we need to go through before we understand that this team is terribly built? Where's the top 6? Yeah, this was one of the arguments that I had even with or one of the hypotheticals, I guess, that I wrestled with even like when Lindy was fired years ago, is that, is it unfair to fire Lindy before he gets a major trade? Now, I think at the time, the answer was kind of no, because he had gotten major trades in the past and he, proved that he wasn't able to do anything with it. Keefe really hasn't gotten that. Keefe really hasn't gotten that significant trade to shake up the core, the scoring wing, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to say that the team is terribly built and the top 6 is brutal right now. Keefe probably deserves a major trade before he's gone, which would mean, of course, you're going to have to make that significant trade. Tom Fitzgerald should not be the one making that trade. I'm on that hill. I will die on that hill. Even if the Devils rattle off 10 wins in a row here, I'm sorry, I'll still be on that hill. I'll still keep my condo on Fitzgerald should be fired island. So yeah. Alex Lamatina. Who could they trade for to help this? Nobody, Alex. I'm sorry, nobody. Like McDavid and prime Mario Lemieux, to use a Pittsburgh example because I'm here. Those are there's nobody coming. Nobody's walking through that door to come fix this mess. I hate to say it. The solution has to be inside. And first of all, they can't even trade for anybody. So forget that. But even if they had the flexibility, I think that the core right now, the room seems so rotten that even a significant trade, I don't know that would ultimately fix things. And that's a mess, and that's a shame. But that's the state of the Devils right now. Dime season just says sigh and sends $10. Thank you so much for that, Dime season. Yeah, collective exhales from the New Jersey Devils fan base right now, and understandably so. All right, I'm gonna go like halfway through the comments, and then I'll pick one. Ba, ba, ba. Sorry about that. I'm trying to pick a random one. Renditch says telling words from Keefe for sure, and I thought he handled the question well, and I appreciated that he was good with that. So but yeah, definitely go look at the short that I posted if you guys want to see the Sheldon Keefe responding to his job security question. My God, people are talking about like Auburn football in the chat. What's going on in the chat? Let's see. Jay Snow says softest team in the NHL. Yeah, I mean, look, right now it's not looking great. We have another super chat. Thank you so much, Mac Boolby. Imagine bringing Lou back plus hiring Torch. This is the culture change we need, even if it's short term. This organization lack any sort of accountability and is softer than butter. Can't argue with you there necessarily, Mac. And thank you so much for supporting me on that level. I very much appreciate that. Look, the Lou thing is interesting. He's 83 years old. I get that, but he's still semi-involved with the Islanders and everything like that. So maybe. Torch to me is that's the one. That's the one. If you need Torch to me, you fire the coach. Hopefully you fire the GM too. You bring in Torch for a sugar buzz, like just a sugar high at the end of the season, and you tell that core, hey, prove it. If you can't do this with Torch, then we need to make a significant change with this core. And I'm talking trading Bratt, trading Nico, trading one of these guys. Throw Jack in there. Why not? I think it would be crazy, but throw Jack's name in there. Why not? I think that may be the move. Like, if you're going to fire Keefe, you better be damn sure that you get a spark plug like Torts, who can just get the most out of any young team. Like, he got a lot out of those Flyers teams. Those Flyers teams were dreadful. And so, if there's any coach that can raise the ceiling, I would say raise the ceiling. He's not a raise the floor guy. He's like a raise the ceiling guy. It's John Tortorella, and he would be you think if the word country club gets thrown around a lot now, just imagine, the solution to that is John Tortorella for sure. Rick Roma, the core is quit on multiple coaches now. I would trade Luke and Jack to separate separate teams too. Don't let these guys sulk their way to Minnesota. Interesting point, Rick Roma. You're starting to see more of that, I feel like, from some Devils fans. Again, I'm not trading Jack, but Luke's output this year has been so disappointing and so disheartening that anything should be on the table. Though if you do trade Luke, I feel like you piss off Jack, and that wouldn't be good. It's all look. I'm not disagreeing with you that the core right now, they've gotten too many chances with too many coaches that the finger needs to just start being pointed at them. And Daniel, what's that stat you had? I'm gonna have Daniel Lamoya say into the mic. He had a crazy stat in his article. Go read Daniel at the Hockey Writers, but Daniel is gonna say a crazy stat.
Thank you, Ryan. So, since December 1st, Timo Meier, Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, and Jack Hughes, not one of them have scored at a rate higher than 0.5, so half a point per game.
Insanity. There's your core right there. Stepping up in big moments. Not, obviously. So, yeah, not great. Moving on. Chico Tazo 69 says, I'm sorry, but whoever said hire Lou and Torts is an idiot. We have Cheka in the org, and Bruce Boudreau is right there. Torts would be awful for this team. I don't know. Like, Torts is the ultimate test of if you can't do it with him, because he gets so much out of teams in such a quick span of time, that he's the ultimate like litmus test. Like, okay, core, you can either do this or you can't. If you can't be successful under Torts, then you can't be successful, period. And we need to start making major wholesale changes there. So that's the way I kind of view it. Lou is just, like that's more of like a wishful thinking kind of thing, or like a, maybe like a nostalgic thinking kind of thing. I don't know that Lou would step back in, but would certainly be interesting. Make Lou and Torts. What a combo that would be from a media perspective. Cheka though, I do like Cheka. I think that would be nice. But my number one GM candidate is obviously Sonny Mehta of the Florida Panthers. Joseph Salvato. Any chances of DeBoer? Great, another great coaching candidate. I know that he was on with Merrick and Greg Wyshynski today. Didn't exactly hear his comments, but I'm sure he's open to coming back in. I think the reunion with DeBoer would be great. I think he's another guy that can kind of squeeze the most out of a core. And I know that I'm saying that, but and the Dallas Stars didn't win anything with him. I think he'd be another, like, systematically. I think he would fit really well with this Devils team. Provide a little jolt there. Let's see. Zuko's Master J. How can you trade Bratt, Nico, Jack, etc.? They're still arguably on great contracts. Trading Dougie would fetch nothing. What options are left? Look, the only reason we're even discussing the hypothetical right now is because this core has been an abject failure. They've been a disappointment, a complete disappointment. They have one playoff appearance beyond the first round. They have, 2 playoff appearances total? Yeah, because they didn't make the playoffs in 23-24. And by the way, you are well on your way to missing the playoffs yet again with this core. If they do not make it again, unless you can get a coach in here that really squeezes every ounce of potential out of them, then the finger needs to be pointed at them, and things are just not great, and you need to move on from and make a major trade there or something like that. Justin A, to think teams like the Sharks have lapped our rebuild. Yeah, it's funny. I was actually talking about that with Daniel here as well. The Sharks right now, I think they have a better record than you too. Celebrini looks amazing. That's a team that was doggy doo-doo just 2 years ago. Last year. No hope. Zero hope. Not a modicum of hope. And they are now running circles around you. And by the way, they're also making trades off of bad contracts, which your GM should be able to do, but he's not able to do because he's hamstrung himself. He's completely handcuffed himself into not being able to swing that big move. Guys, thank you so much for all the super chats. I very much appreciate this. Chico Tazo, Torts is an all-defense coach. It's not a change from Keefe. They need the rush. They need Bruce. That's a good point. Actually, I'll give you that one, Chico Tazo. And I like that because I'm sitting here wondering, I'm sitting here talking about, Torts from an accountability perspective. Maybe you just get him, at some sort of advisory role, just to give the team a swift kick in the ass. Get him in the building somehow. But I know he's doing stuff at ESPN, so maybe I don't know. But look, the fact of the matter is that they definitely need to lean into that skill. I've been pounding the table for that, and you're totally right in that regard. Moving on. And thank you so much, everybody, for the super chats. I cannot believe how many we have. It's awesome. Alexander Johns, how long is Fitz going to get away with hiding from the press/media? It's pathetic that he's remained radio silent through this death spiral. Yeah, I mean, look, as of right now, at some point, I would guess that he's maybe going to speak soon, just because things are getting that drastic. Things are getting that dire. And you can't sit there and somebody made a great point. I think it was Merrick the other day. You can't sit there and let Sheldon Keefe continue to take the fall for this. You can't sit there and continue to you can't let Luke Hughes have to face us and stuff like that after a game in which he gets booed, and you just sit there and do nothing. I would expect him. Let's see if he speaks soon. But that'd be really nice. Mac Bulby says whoever thinks hiring Torts is a mistake is an idiot. We need someone with a mean streak in this team to grow a pair. We keep pandering to these players with no results. Yeah, that's the argument for doing it, right? That's the argument for doing it is to get kind of a spark plug in this team and to give them a jolt in that regard. As it stands right now, they don't have that. I know that Keefe is an intense coach. There's no doubt about that. But if intensity doesn't mix with the system and the message has gone stale, which it looks like it has right now, And then, you're going to start getting results like this. Rudy R. It's not much, but I sent an email to my ticket rep. Thank you so much for supporting us. $20 super chat. Amazing, Rudy. Thank you. It's not much, but I sent an email to my rep telling him that season ticket holders are frustrated with Fitz, and it's unacceptable that he is MIA. He has to face the fans and media during this time. All season ticket holders should tell the reps this. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that can hold a lot of weight with an organization. I won't tell you to do one thing one way or the other, but because I'm just going to continue to hold the team accountable in my own regard. But if you think that's a good idea, more power to you. And if you're going to send me $20, then hell yeah, listen to Rudy, guys. I'll endorse anything you say. If you send me a $20 super chat, I won't. I reserve the right to refuse super chats if they're inappropriate. Like somebody said. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm not giving it oxygen. Somebody said a crazy super chat to me after the last one. Rick Roma. Don't know about these wild Sens rumors, but they're currently losing 8-1. Could something happen around Kachuk and Bratt? That would change culture. Yeah, that would be awesome. Do that in a heartbeat. Kachuk for Bratt? Throw in a pick if you need to. I would do that totally. I don't know that those Sens. I mean, I know that the Sens strongly denied them, so we'll see if those ended up being true. But yeah, totally. You get Kachuk in here. I think that would be great. Thank you so much again, Rick Roma. Alex Lamatina, I don't really have much else to say, but as a fellow journalist, you're the man, and I appreciate the way you cover the game. Enjoy Winnipeg. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to Winnipeg, and thank you, Alex. I very, very much appreciate you supporting the channel tonight, and Godspeed to my fellow journalists out there. Salute to you. But I thank you so much for that, my friend. Guys, that will do it. That's the end of the Super Chats. Active chat tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into us here on Speaking of the Devils. Guys, if you're new here, like and subscribe. Please. We do this after every game. We'll do this after every piece of breaking news. If there's anything crazy that happens in the next 24 hours, we'll see. But we will go ahead and go live right from there. And we'll continue to break the internet with these streams and continue to hold this team accountable. For Ryan Novozinsky, from right here in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, have a great day. I'll see you guys after next one. Oh, my God, wait. Hold on. We have another super chat. Mac Bulby, just because we are doing an awesome job. Thank you so much. The rest of the Devils reporters just spew Devils propaganda. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Mac, and appreciate all the super chats you sent tonight. It means a lot, my man. It means a lot, my friend. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.